YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook followers to another edition of You Gonna Need a Lot More Wine. Cheers, ladies. And if you don't drink, come over here, Zelda. Thank you. Now
She all like, watermelon.
That girl was so ready to drink, she didn't even want to toast me. All right, ladies, before we get started, first of all, I have got to give a shout out to Usher Raymond. Lord, I went to the concert yesterday.
What? All right.
And it was fabulous. So if you get a chance to go see Usher in Las Vegas, ATL was in the house representing, so you guys have got to see the show. It was amazing.
Wow. And I got to give a shout out to Mike Epps. Went and saw him yesterday in the ATL, and he was amazing.
I love me some Mike Epps. Anybody else want to give a shout out to somebody before we get started?
I'd like to give a shout out to Tangi, 5-Star Braids. She is awesome. She does all the celebrities and all the athletes. Tangi, 5-Star Braids. That's my girl.
Yeah, she got you looking good too, Zelda. What about you, Miss Dawson? You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Just my crew. We came
through. All right, wonderful. First of all, welcome, ladies. Welcome back. It's so great to see everybody. Y'all are looking as beautiful as usual. This one right here, no, she funny. I mean, funny. So before we get started, just a couple of disclaimers. The reason why we try to talk about our topics each week, first of all, we would like to definitely educate, but not only do we want to educate, we want to enlighten, empower. Shalita, I need to see that half of a muscle over there.
Oh.
Okay, thank you very much. And engage our audience into topics that are not always easy topics to discuss. Is that right, ladies?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And we're going to bring it to you.
Yeah, exactly like it is. Okay, and lastly, whichever item you decide to partake in, please drink responsibly and do not drink and drive. All right, let's rock it, ladies.
Yes.
Now, who's going to introduce our topic for today? Zelda.
Okay.
She's so cute, ain't she?
Our topic for today is take your ass back to work.
Ooh.
Why and why not? We have so many hiring signs everywhere. Everywhere I look. I went to LA last week. Everywhere. We're hiring. Why do you think they're not going back to work?
We're hiring every place here in Georgia. The Publix, UPS store. I don't know about the post office. They need to do some firing.
Oh, no, they are hiring.
But every place else, they're complaining that they cannot target. They're complaining that they cannot get any workers. People don't need to work out there. Y'all ain't got no kids that need little part-time jobs and stuff.
So I think it's a lot of stuff that's playing into people not wanting to go back to work. I think the American dream may be the American nightmare for some people. And I think people are realizing that it's not all it's cracked up to be. You're spending 50, 60 hours a week at work, no time with your family. You can't walk. Now people are getting checks to sit at home. They can spend time with their families. They're getting these checks every month. So why would you trade that in? They're asking.
And they're getting, them checks are a lot bigger than the paychecks they were getting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the benefits of being able to stay at home with the family, and maybe planning a business or something like that.
And then traffic. Who wants to sit in traffic by the time you pay your bill? Sit in traffic. Literally, you can
especially
sit at home.
in this town.
Yeah.
So I just think that America needs to be rediscovered.
Refocused?
Rediscovered with everybody in mind.
Okay.
Because people are starting to see now, hey, this is not, you more peaceful sitting at home.
This is
It's not what it's
So
cracked
that's
up
not
to
the
be.
American dream that everybody's thinking.
It's
Is that
not,
what you're saying?
for corporations, it's the American dream because you get your tax write-offs, you have a business, and you're living high on the hog. But for the rest of America, you got so many people, like when the moratorium lifts, people are going to get put out of their homes. It wasn't their fault that they couldn't go to work. It's just a lot going on that I think America has not paid attention to, and coronavirus and the pandemic exposed a lot of things. And now the world can just see, wait a minute.
Yes, that's true.
so like as far as working them 50 and 60 hours a week and barely making ends meet, and then not at any fault of your own, now you're at home day in and day out, but then you get to see, oh my goodness, I'm actually getting to watch my children grow and do this, that, and the other. And maybe even some people are doing like online learning and earning a degree so they can get to the next level and not remain at the same level that they were at. So,
And I think a lot of people now, they don't even want to work for under $15.
Well, I
That's
can't
true.
blame them because your
You
rent
know,
is going up.
they don't even want to work for under $15. My daughter, for one, I'm like, but you're just a high school student. She was like,
Exactly.
I'm not taking under $15. Target pays me 15. I'm not going under 15. So, and I'm like, but you're in high school. I'm thinking these jobs are meant for high schoolers.
Yeah.
You know, so nobody wants to work. I don't even know what the minimum wage was or is, but they don't want to work for that minimum wage. Do y'all know what the minimum wage
The
is?
minimum
around
wage
$7 or
was
$8.
$3.75 when I was in high school. That's how
so
long
what
ago
is
that
that?
I think
was.
between
Right.
$7 and $8 or
$7
something
and
like that.
$8.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I think that's definitely one of the reasons why people do not want to go back to work is because, you know, they were getting the stimulus checks and getting, you know, unemployment every single week. And that money was tripling what they were making on their regular job. So, I mean, like you guys said, I mean, who wants to go back to work
No.
when you can just sit at home and relax, kick your feet up, you know, go out to dinner, enjoy your family, and, you know, you're getting free money.
Yeah.
But
Go
them
ahead,
check-
listen to him.
But
She
them
is cool.
checks about to stop. So what you gonna do now?
But is it really free money? Look at all the people that's been working for years.
Yeah.
America, to me, is just having to pay back. I mean, it's just a way to look. I can look at that so many ways.
God, wait a minute. Say that
like
one more
that
time
one.
about America's paying back.
I mean, I can look at it so
It's
many
like
ways.
this. You gonna pay some reparations, whether you want to
I don't
or
want
not.
I'm not really saying reparations, but I'm just saying
exactly.
we have worked and worked and worked and worked
for
and
free.
worked,
For
That's
free.
true.
and
For
still
almost
came
free.
up short.
That's so true.
Yes.
So it's now like it's saying no.
You got to give back some.
No more business as usual, and everybody's so quick to go back to the way things were, and then it came back again. No, we not. So it's a lot of stuff going on. I think spiritually, where you're not going to be able to just go back and make America the way it's been. So many people that just have not gotten their fair share, and I don't think it's going to go back to
Yeah.
what they think is going to go back
I
to.
totally agree.
So I
with
was
that.
watching CNN the other day, and President Biden came on, and he was talking about, you know, the economics, I guess the economic impact that they're having right now. So last July, we increased 943,000 jobs. So I mean, I guess some people are going back
Yes,
to work.
yes.
I don't know
What do y'all
about the
think?
numbers they keep putting out there. Cause
Oh,
like one day
this one
they
always
say,
think it's a
No, but
conspiracy
see,
theory,
I
don't
do,
you?
I do, because one day I literally I lied to you not. Like I always say, I always got ABC News up on my computer. It's like Wednesday they say, the unemployment rate is at X amount and we lost 350,000 jobs,
Yes.
right? And then the very next day, we've gained in the past such and such, you know, and makes it, you know, paint this beautiful picture. I'm like, but just yesterday.
Yes.
And so I'm confused.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Are we
okay,
gaining
so
jobs or not gaining
exactly.
jobs?
What is it? Can
Yeah.
somebody tell the truth? And you can never, you know, that's why I'm always so suspicious, because you're giving me double stories every day.
Yes. Well, I know a lot of people too have started their own business. You know, they got this money and they're tired of working for other people. And I have a client of mine that I do her hair. She makes well over $200,000 a year, but she called me the other day asking me to like her own business online. She's been working for this corporation for years, and she's like, I'm starting my own business. So she's making this corporation, if they're paying her over $200,000 a year, just how much she can make on her own doing her own thing, what she already knows what to do. So she started her own business, and
That's awesome.
so a lot of people are doing that, starting their own business, and they don't want to go work for nobody else. They're
true.
starting
It's
their
that
own
reevaluation
crab
thing.
business, their own, you know, shirt business, their own delivery business, you know,
Yes.
their own product hair business, like Shalita. What's the name of your business again?
CWHaircare.com.
Yeah,
Go
so,
there and
you
check
know,
it out. But I was just going to say, what if, you know, because you were trapped in the house, you had no ability to get out and make money. Say if you were a waiter, the restaurants are closed. You had no ability to make money. You gonna sink or swim. Right? And so you're like, yo, I got to take care of this family. I got to take care of me. I got to eat. I got to keep a roof over my head. I'm finna hustle. And then you start that t-shirt business.
Oh, yeah.
Then you start this or that business because you got to bring some money in. So
Yes.
it took people to the brink of sink or swim.
Right.
Yes.
And then to me, if ain't
Yes.
nobody going back to work, it look like a lot of people swimming.
Yeah.
You know,
They doing
on
their
their
own
on
thing,
their
right?
own
Yes.
thing, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
maybe that's what's going on.
What it was all about, rediscovering you.
Yeah,
Rediscovering
it's
you.
almost like it was almost a curse when the pandemic came, but it was also a blessing as well.
For a lot of
It's like it had a double-edged sword, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I know in these past, before the pandemic, I've noticed that a lot of young people, like in their 20s, were having heart attacks over working with these corporations. They were having heart attacks because the stress was so
amazing.
severe. And I, know
It's
the
a lot.
lives of these people. So a lot of things have changed to where now that everything closed down, they're seeing that maybe they don't have to spend so much money. They're downsizing. They're taking care, just living. It doesn't take a lot to live. It doesn't take a lot to live. We only
Unless you're
need
living like
a
me, just
little
high on the
bit.
damn hog, right? All the time, just acting like I'm balling.
Come on now. But it doesn't take a lot to live. We can use very little to live. It doesn't
I got
take
that
a
from
lot.
my mama.
Yeah.
My mama used to, you would never think that we really didn't have a whole lot of money because of the way my mama was. She drove the nicest cars. We had a nice place to live, but we really didn't have a whole lot of money. But it's
Yes.
like, you know what? If you act like you got it, then you can
got
have
it.
it.
You feeling it.
We're millionaires then. Our show is big.
Speaking of high on the
be
hog,
seen all over the world.
not to interrupt, but that show is pretty darn good.
How on the Hog, is that a show?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well,
It's
dang,
a-
I need to watch
It's a
that.
black cooking show.
Oh,
but they
oh,
take you
wow.
through the culture of the food.
Oh, okay.
Like the culture of Louisiana,
Oh,
Creole
wow.
food, the culture of African food, but that's a whole nother subject, and that's a
Exactly.
good show.
That's
You're going to need a lot more wine. It's an awesome show.
Yeah,
So,
and I'll drink to that.
hey, let's drink to. You're gonna need a lot more wine. We need them subscriptions up, people. So please
Yes,
do go and
subscribe.
subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Right here, subscribe
Breezy,
right
I'm
there.
proud of you for drinking after you toasted, girl. Good job. So proud of
Leave
you,
that
girl.
comment right there.
Exactly. So another thing that Biden said about his economic plan is that they're going to be creating 90%, well, actually 90% of the jobs that they're going to be creating are going to be jobs that do not require a college degree.
I think that's good.
That's
How is
going to
he
help
gonna
a lot of
create that?
people. This one here, there she go again.
How you
know.
gonna create it? There's a bunch
Well-
of jobs out there right now that don't require a college degree, but
Where
ain't
you
nobody
can,
going
where you
to
can
'em.
train.
Right.
I think, to me personally, training, hands-on training, like technical college, hands-on, to me, that is to me better than college.
Folks
I mean,
been doing
I'm
that,
not
though.
putting
To have a
down.
trade
I'm
or
not
something.
putting down college, but I'm just saying that most of the time when you're doing hands-on training, it's a good thing than just sitting there reading the books. You got your doctorate
And don't know
degree,
nothing when you
but
get
you
out of
don't know
college.
nothing about life.
Yeah.
I know a lot of doctoring people that don't know much. You
But
know?
them trade schools have been out there 50 years.
For years.
So what are we doing new? I mean, because they've been out there for forever. People have been doing hands-on for forever. So what is it he's creating new?
Well, I can say what he probably is going to do is give incentive to corporations who maybe hire people that say you don't have to have a college degree.
We'll train
Like
you.
for government contracting.
Yeah.
I'm a minority-owned business, a government contractor. They're saying now that he's pushing like $50 billion towards small business to
Yes.
get government contracts. He's
Yes.
forcing their hand. So if he tell corporations, hey, we'll give you tax breaks if you do this, like lower your levels
Your
for people
standards
to
and stuff.
enter.
They ain't paying no taxes now, so
But I'm just saying it has to be something for him to be able to back that.
Devil's advocate over here, right?
it's like what they not paying taxes
Yeah.
now. What other incentives
Yeah,
is he
but
gonna
it's
do?
probably something that he's coming up with to balance out. If he said that, they have to be able to back it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think really what's going on, if he's saying that there, is that people is throwing up the deuces to them corporations and basically doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really, they
Yes.
like, because y'all rich is I don't know what, and I'm not. So I'm
Yes.
getting ready to bust my hump.
We
for
making
me,
you rich.
for me, so I can
Okay.
get where you are.
All right, ladies. So we do have a caller. Welcome to You Gonna Need a Lot More Wine. Thank you so much for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Susie, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, Susie,
Susie.
welcome to the show. Thank you so much for calling in.
Atlanta.
So we were having a discussion today about, people going back to work. Why? I mean, have you went back to work? And if you haven't went back to work, why haven't you went back to work? So can you tell me a little bit about your job? Were you laid off? Were you getting unemployment? How did that go?
Well, I worked for a cosmetic line, going from store to store, boosting sales, performing events, doing all types of makeup artistry and things like that. And we were laid off. Our entire team was laid off, and our employer was filing unemployment for us. And unfortunately, if we stayed in DeKalb or Fulton County, which are predominantly minorities, we waited from March to August 1st to finally receive unemployment, and we didn't even get back pay. And now we're all fighting for appeals to get that money. And they said that they were going to call us back when they started letting people go back to work and do what we do and work hands-on. But we recently looked online, and they had all of our jobs posted for like more than half of the salary less.
Oh my goodness.
wow.
Okay, so they're hiring people now for your position,
And
For
a
less
and they're
money.
paying them less money. Is that what you just said?
Yes, because we were getting around $30 an hour plus commission, and a monthly commission off of all the sales from different stores that we went to.
Right.
And now they're paying basically $15 an hour.
Oh,
benefits,
Jesus.
no
Wow.
That's the
commission.
minimum wage.
And that's a slap in the face for somebody like me who went to school. I have 2 college degrees, and I have more than 17 years of experience. I've been doing this for, since I was a teenager. And the jobs that they're offering now, they're like, oh, there's jobs. Yeah, but for what they're paying, you might as well stay on unemployment.
Right, yeah.
Because after the tax is taken out, each week you're probably making $250.
Yeah. So that was kind of something that we were just discussing. So have you considered getting your own business? I think you said you were in the line, you do makeup or something like that. Have you considered opening up your own business?
What this pandemic has taught me is that if you weren't already a hustler, you just don't have it in you. Because I was already in the process of starting my own business, but it depends on how you look at the glass. Is it half full or is it half empty? Because I looked at it as half full, and I looked at it as a reason to pursue my dreams, which now I'm launching a cosmetic line, and I'm full-time freelance, so that frees me up to do way more work and make my own rules, and I don't have to deal with rules and regulations and deal with company policies that only apply to certain people but don't apply to me. So now I'm my own businesswoman, and I already knew all the rules. I already knew how to play my position, but now I'm playing that position strictly for me and my business.
Hey, how about we have a
go.
toast to play your position? Okay. Play your position, Miss Susie. Congratulations on your new business. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Miss Susie before we let her go?
That was
All right.
excellent.
I
Yes,
think that
that's
is
what we
awesome,
thought.
Miss Susie. That
Yeah.
is great that you're starting your own business.
You
There's
go,
nothing
girl.
like having your own business. I love having my own business.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Miss Susie. Those were some really great points, and we really appreciate your feedback, okay?
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for the great conversation.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Told you.
Playing your position. I didn't get a drink. I'm going to have one now.
It's like, you work in corporate America and you see how they shaft everybody.
Yes.
And you just take it because you paying your bills.
Right.
Right. But then, as she said, the pandemic was like a curse and a blessing. It gave you the opportunity to reevaluate what was important. And am I going to keep getting mopped up and down this floor by corporations where everybody at the top that ain't really doing no work is making millions and millions of dollars, and folks on the bottom that's slaving away is barely making minimum wage.
And a lot of companies now are giving incentives like they're giving free iPhones to people. They're
To come back to work?
Oh yes, Target just
Damn.
announced a couple of days ago that
Oh, I
they're
know what I
paying
wanted to say.
everybody's college full time, the whole full
Told you.
ride.
They should have been doing that.
So I think that is awesome that Target's doing that. Shout out to Target.
Well, I think it's forcing them to do what they should have been doing the whole time.
That's what I said. They should have been doing that.
Not
Like
just
you
Target.
said.
They're
Yes.
giving them thousands of dollars to come
Yes.
back to work. You should have been giving it to me when you saw me taking time away from my family to come
Oh,
and
yes.
support you and hold you up. But again, it's making them pay it back.
Yeah,
Okay,
and,
yeah,
and,
that's-
and
that's a
until
great
they
point.
until they give, then they're not going to get any employees.
Yeah.
They got to give more.
Yeah, and
they
it's
got
like-
to give.
To piggyback on that, I saw a sign where McDonald's is paying 30. They're in such desperate need. The sign said we're paying $32 an hour.
What? This must be for a manager.
It must be
Yeah,
New
that's
York.
definitely.
I have no idea. I just saw
that's
McDonald's
good.
is hiring and they paying
that's
$32
good,
an hour. I don't know
Wow.
if it's for managers.
They probably got
That's
some
good,
fine
though.
print down there saying something. You know, ain't nobody just flipping them burgers gonna be making no $32 an
Man,
hour.
if
Well,
you ain't got nobody
even
to
if
flip a
it's-
burger, you can't make no money.
Right.
Even if it's management, I mean that's a pretty good salary, you know.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
good.
live
But
off
if it's
that.
the burger
Yeah.
flipper that's making $32
That
an
would
hour.
be beautiful.
If they
Yeah.
making $32 an hour, I'm about to go in
Well,
there and turn over me a couple
every
patties.
every time I pass
Right.
every time I pass by a fast food restaurant, there's a line wrapped around the building and out the street because there's nobody to work.
They don't
And
have enough
And they
workers.
even tell you, ma'am, or there's nobody to work, so we're not gonna. Even at the bars, there's nobody to work. You know.
But if there is another pandemic and they shut everything down, that's a wrap. I mean,
I hope
so
they don't shut
much
everything
is gonna
down.
be
I hope not.
lost. These corporations, like we went to KFC the other day.
I hope not.
And pretty much they were saying that if you had put your order in before, you could just come and pick your food up. Only maybe 3 people working inside. It was almost like order your food ahead, just come in and get it. Now you don't need the big buildings or the overhead because you can't. You're not making enough revenue.
Right.
So that's gonna shut a lot of things down. But also it teaches them how to do business lean. Just get lean and not have all this overhead.
Correct.
So the commercial
Yes.
real estate people are suffering right now because nobody wants the commercial overhead.
The property,
Right.
So it's like things are shifting around. It's like you just don't know where to land, where to
Wow.
pivot because everybody's being interrupted. It's
That
like,
is so true.
Yes.
It's just crazy. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and with people, like you saying, nobody wants the commercial real estate. If people are starting their businesses, you can start that right at the kitchen table.
You can.
You ain't got to go into no corporate
Yes.
paying this high
think-
overhead when
I
you can
think-
sit right there and get a discount on your mortgage
What
for
about
having a home business.
Get one of them little trucks and just go wherever the events are. A
Exactly.
food truck.
Yeah.
Why would you have that? If Piedmont Park is having something, I'm at Piedmont
Yeah.
Park
Yeah.
today.
Right.
If it's up here today and you mobile, just the
I'm
thing
bringing
is to
whatever it is to you.
become lean
Yes.
and
I-
nimble.
I
Yes.
think a lot of people too are wanting to work most of the time just for health benefits, and there's other ways that you can get health benefits, from having your own business. I think it was called Obamacare before, but now I heard a girl the other day called it Biden Care. So there's other ways that you can get medical insurance than just waiting to work with a corporation. If you want to start your own business, you have to call the marketplace and see what type of medical insurance that you can get, and you may not have to pay a lot to where you can start your own business and you don't have to go work.
Does anybody
for
know
someone
if
else.
those wages? I mean, if those
Medical benefits?
I guess the monthly premiums, are they still high for
Oh, no,
Obamacare?
no, no.
For
They're,
people?
they're
Yeah,
not.
they
they're
pretty much
not
priced
high.
me right out the market.
They're not high. I know by personally, it's based on your income, and whatever your income is, they have other monies to help you pay that benefit. Like your insurance might be $400 a month, but if you qualify, you might get $300 off that $400.
And see, this is the problem when we talk about wages. If you're paying $400 a month for health insurance, and you're only making $6 an hour at
Yeah,
work,
that's
It doesn't
right.
go together.
you're working to pay health insurance.
That's
Exactly.
right.
I
And
mean, come
how
on
do you
now.
pay the rent and the food and the
Exactly.
phone bill and buy some toilet paper?
It's impossible.
Well, the people that
Yeah.
own the corporations don't care.
No, they do not.
Yeah.
But now they are caring, because
Right.
guess what? It's
'Cause they're
hurting their pockets.
losing.
It's hurting
It's
their
hurting
bottom
their
line.
pockets. So now they're caring.
Ooh, you know what
They're
our next
saying that
topic
we
should be?
need
What?
you to run our business.
Yeah.
Folks going bananas on the airplanes.
When they tied that man up the other day.
Yeah, that was funny.
So that's gonna be
Took the man to the seat the other day.
you know, they duct tape to
They
the
duct
chair.
taped
didn't
it?
they?
Oh, you didn't see the video of the dude
What
explaining
airline
what
was
happened? Frontier.
Frontier
What
Airlines.
happened?
Girl, we ain't talking about it right now,
Well,
but
yeah,
Yeah, we'll, you know what? We'll talk about that after the camera is off. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So basically, I am. How many of you all are for higher wages for our so-called essential workers? So they say.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because if they're
Okay,
making
yeah,
billions,
essential workers.
well, you know what? If they're making billions, and if you are an adult and you could not go to college, you cannot afford to go to college, but this is all you have to take care of your family. Maybe you're 40 and over. Yes, I support that because you have a family to take care of. If you're a high school student, maybe not so much, but yeah, in a way. But I know that there's a lot of people that could not afford to go to college because the way this world is.
Right.
Everybody can't afford to go to college. They may want to go to college, very smart. They can run the whole darn corporation, but they couldn't go to college. So yeah, pay them more. Pay them more so they can take care of their family and they can work for you.
I
Okay,
disagree.
hold that thought. Breezy, you had something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I disagree because it's not my fault you couldn't pay to go to college. I struggled. I worked 3 and 4, 5 jobs so that I could go to college.
But it's sad that you had to work that many jobs.
Exactly, but I did.
To have to go to college.
Yeah.
But
And
I
I did
did.
too.
My
I had to
point
work
is, that if you really want something,
Yeah.
you're gonna do what you got to do to get there, right? And nobody should give it to you just because.
But look.
Because no, hold on. Because if you come to me and say, I got 5 kids and I can't feed them and I need to go to the bar because I like to hang out and stuff. Can you watch my kids and can you feed them? I cannot.
Yeah, that's true.
I cannot, right?
That's true.
Because I didn't put you in that position.
That's true.
You're old enough to be responsible enough to know better, right? And if your priority is to go to the bar as opposed to taking your ass to work to take care of them kids, then you know
AZZ.
what?
Yes.
AZZ.
Whatever it is, you know what
We
I'm
were
saying.
talking about essential workers. I think that was something that might have triggered a thought with you about the wages and the essential workers or
But I'm
something
talking
like
about,
that.
she's saying somebody didn't go to college. She's saying they did. What did they have to do with your question? I'm trying to get in on it.
Well, I don't know. We just talked about higher wages for people. So she was just talking about how college students, she didn't think that they should be making more money. Is that what you were saying?
If somebody could not afford to go to college, like say I couldn't afford to go to college. I don't have 5 kids. My mother and father work, but they can't afford for me to go to college. I can't take out so many loans. Even if I take out the loans, I still can't afford to go to college. And why should I not make a reasonable amount of money to at least be able to pay my mortgage, pay for a car, and maybe go on a vacation once a
Because
year?
you don't have a college degree.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
that's
I don't have a
why.
college degree.
So the question
But
then
But
becomes,
but I'm making the corporation millions.
right,
But
the
you're working
question
a
is,
job that you can afford to work, though.
right.
That's your position in life.
But the question just becomes, should you make more money because you have a degree? Because you could come from a job 20 years
Oh,
experience.
let me tell you
She
something.
could be coming from just
Well,
graduating
just let me
college.
tell you this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's a
Let
whole
me just tell
nother-
you this. I worked for a corporation one time, and I was shocked to find out the lady above me did not have a degree. And I had a degree, and she didn't have a degree, but she was making more money than me, and I could have been in her position, but because of my color, I couldn't get that job.
And we know
Yeah.
that's discrimination.
You know,
At the highest level.
And then when I found out she didn't have a degree, I said, "Ain't that something?" But I wasn't surprised because that's how the world is.
That- yeah,
you don't
we've been
have to
dealing
have a
with that.
degree to be up high.
Absolutely.
You don't have if you might be a certain color, you might not have to have that degree. But as me, I have to have a degree. And it's just crazy
That's
how
that's
this
that
is.
double standard. We already know that's why
Oh, yeah.
what's been holding us back for so long is because we have not been given the opportunity as
And
so
they
many
say,
others
and they
to,
say they
to
can't
get
find
these higher
nobody
paying jobs.
to get these higher positions, but we all have degrees.
You know what? The reason why we cannot get these jobs is because they do not give us the opportunity to get these jobs. They
Yes.
don't bring us in for interviews
Yes.
as they do the other race. I mean, we probably getting off onto something else. But the reason why we are not given these opportunities, and we all know it's because of the color of our skin. Go ahead, Breezy.
Well, no. So we need to talk about the glass ceiling effect in women and then the difference between the pays, black and white, and then men versus women. Maybe a topic like that.
Okay, yeah.
And talk about what's causing that to happen, and is it happening still? I know it used to be prevalent in the 60s, but now you can really create your own way. And
Yes.
I'm not asking for permission anymore.
That's
Right,
right.
exactly.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But I
yes.
would love to talk about something like that.
Okay.
That'd be another show.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now, take your ass back.
All right.
Another thing is also when they're talking about we can't afford to pay, $15 an hour. We can't afford to pay this and that amount, but you can afford to pay the person up here who ain't doing nothing
Yes.
$100 million a year.
Correct.
So
that's why
explain
we
to
can't
me
EOs,
why
right?
when they're not really doing anything but going out there.
They're not
putting
doing
off
the
and whatnot.
essential work.
When
They
you
don't even know how to flip a burger, nor less run a cash register.
Exactly, but then but
But
they're
what do
not.
they need to know when they got us?
You're right.
But then
that's
what
correct.
do you do? What do you do when you don't now have your essential workers?
Well, that's
Are they
what
getting
we
ready to?
already
Now they wanna
now
start
getting
paying
ready
you a
to
little bit
earn
more
that.
money.
They getting ready to earn that $100 million now. They getting ready to go down there and start flipping some burgers. To
Hell
keep the
to the no,
customers
they ain't
coming
finna
in.
flip
Well,
a burger.
actually, I did see a man that his workers left at the cleaners, and it was so funny to see him try to clean shirts. I kind of like snickered a little bit because all his workers had left, so to keep his business going, he was in there trying to do the shirts and stuff. It was so
And that
funny
should, should let you know right now is that you really do need these people, and you should pay them higher wages.
Yes, and
because
then they probably
what they
saw how
do
much.
is it's like irreplaceable.
Yes, it's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
The people at the top tend to forget that it's the workers at the bottom that's keeping the customers
That
happy.
is exactly right.
And that's the reason why you're making money, because if you don't have any customers and you don't have any people to please these customers, you're not going to have any customers, you're not going to make any money.
Yes.
But they forget that part.
Today I would have liked to have a CEO on the show. Somebody who owns their own business, and you can ask them, if you don't pay great wages for your people, if not, why not? Because it could be that when you're a CEO, you don't understand all the costs that go into running a business. I still say pay people right. But I would have loved to have had some CEOs on here to find out.
Yes.
What are you thinking when you just don't pay the people right?
CEOs, if you're welcome to come to our show.
Welcome to call.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Welcome to subscribe.
Yes.
And leave a comment on why you think it's fair to pay people whatever it is you're paying.
You
Yes.
have your own hair care line.
Yes.
Let's just say if your company that was running in, say, 7 states, and you had workers on the line, how would you pay them and why?
Well, what I do for just basic work, like 2 hours every other day, I give you $150 a week, right? If you want to do extra work, you can earn extra money. Depends on your hustle.
Yeah.
Right, if you just come in and do the little bit that I asked you to do, this is what the pay is. You know what the pay is.
A flat rate.
Here's the additional work that I need done. And this is how much I'm paying for that additional work.
So what do you
If
think
want-
that amount would equal out to? What you're saying? I mean, what hourly? What would that amount equal out
It
to?
equals out to about $22 an hour.
$22 an hour is
And I
reasonable.
think, and to me personally, I think $20 is great.
No, it's
for
not
people
bad.
to make. You know,
Yeah.
I think they can make a living, but don't pay me $15 or $20 an hour, and I only get 10 hours a week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad.
You know,
too.
a lot of companies do
Now
that.
you defeat my purpose.
They'll pay you $15 and you working 10 hours. No, that ain't gonna work.
But is that
baby.
enough to get the job done? Because, I mean, why would they, if you need 40 hours, so say they give you 10 hours, they give you 10 hours, they give you 10 hours, why not just give her the doggone 40 hours?
Because they don't want to pay the benefits.
See,
So
that-
that's
Yeah,
the
they
thing.
keep-
So they don't want to
oh,
pay the
wow.
benefits.
Ooh, that is
So
deep
since
right
they
there.
don't want to pay the benefits,
Shady.
they'll
And
give
the
you
benefits
10.
we know are
They'll
already
give Marcus
health insurance is
10. They'll
off the
give
charts.
Marquise 10. They'll give Shaquita 10, and they'll give Sharonda 10.
And we'll save $1 billion on health insurance.
But again, this is the CEO role. You got to understand their costs because they looking at it a whole nother way. They just trying to stay afloat and keep the business running. They got to overhead, pay the rent, pay the people, insurance, and all this stuff. It's because of the way
Some
America is
taxes.
structured
Right.
that people have to do these things,
Shady things.
and they should not have to do them if everything was just fair. Like Canada, I think the insurance is
And
not
in
like
Norway, I think
Yeah.
Norway is super fair as
And
well.
I think if the big people have Thanksgiving off, corporations, if the CEOs and big corporations have Thanksgiving off, you should give all your employees Thanksgiving off, because working Thanksgiving one day ain't gonna hurt you. You should be ashamed of yourself. All businesses for making people work on Thanksgiving and Christmas. You should be ashamed.
All right.
You should give them off. If you take off, because I know you're not working, you should give them off.
Okay. So this was some really, really, really interesting points, lady. So
Yeah.
with all of that said,
We could
Breezy,
go on for hours
Yes, we
on
could.
these
This
topics.
could be
Man.
an ongoing conversation.
We
Breezy,
could.
you want to go ahead and close us out? The closer.
Yes, let me think about what I want to say today. I'm going to piggyback off what Zelda just said, the corporations and stuff. And when you take that trip on your yacht, those people who made it possible for you to have the yacht, like the workers that's making $5 an hour, maybe take them on a trip too. They want to see the ocean too, because they're not responsible, but they help you realize your dream. It's okay to realize reciprocity. It's not all about the big corporations. I too have my own business, and I have real estate agents, and I do try to be fair with my people. Like, I want you to be blessed. It's not just about me. Without you, there is no me.
Right.
So when people start to realize that, I think the better off we'll be as a country, as a people, and just getting back to loving one another. To me, when you're stingy, that's a sign of selfishness, and there's no love when you're stingy and selfish. It doesn't go together.
Yeah, and that's two different cultures.
Breezy, I love you. Breezy is so awesome.
right, ladies. So we're gonna go ahead and close, and you're gonna need a lot more wine.
And a lot more money. And a lot more money.
And a lot more higher wages,
And a toast,
please.
and a toast to our closer, because she's so smart.
Oh yeah, the closer, Breezy Dawson. Yeah, she just wraps that thing
Yeah,
up
she
so
sure
nicely.
We love her. We love her.
Hey, don't forget to go to our YouTube page and subscribe to
You gonna need a lot more wine.